My fiancée told me, if you don't agree, we can rethink the wedding. I said fair. I didn't rethink love. I rechecked ownership. When the venue called her the next morning, they asked for my approval instead. I'm 29, and I was supposed to get married in 3 months. Was past tense. My fiancée and I had been together for 4 years, engaged for 8 months. We met through mutual friends at a backyard barbecue, started dating a few weeks later, moved in together after a year and a half. Everything felt right. Easy. Natural. Until about 2 months ago when wedding planning shifted from our day to her vision. I should have noticed the signs earlier. The way she started making decisions without consulting me. The dismissive tone when I suggested alternatives. The fact that my opinion on literally anything related to the wedding became optional. The breaking point happened last Tuesday. We were sitting in our living room going over vendor contracts. Flowers, photographer, catering, the usual wedding stuff. I'd taken the afternoon off work to help finalize everything because she said it was important we do this together. She pulled out the contract for the venue. I'd paid the deposit 6 months ago, $15,000, because I wanted to secure the location she loved. My name was on the contract as the primary contact and payment holder. I want to add something to the package, she said, sliding the papers across the coffee table. I looked it over. She wanted to upgrade to the premium bar service, add a champagne tower, and extend the reception by 2 hours. The additional cost was $8,000. That's a lot, I said, keeping my tone neutral. We already agreed on a budget. Budgets can flex. This is our wedding. It's also our down payment fund. We talked about keeping wedding costs reasonable so we can buy a house next year. She set her jaw. This is one day. One special day. I'm not going to look back and regret not having the wedding I dreamed of because you wanted a penny pinch. I'm not penny pinching. I'm being realistic. $8,000 is a significant amount. You make good money. We can afford it. I make good money. You're still paying off your student loans. We agreed to split wedding costs, remember? Her face hardened. So that's what this is about. You're throwing finances in my face. I'm not throwing anything. I'm reminding you of what we agreed on. If we're splitting costs, then big decisions like this need to be joint decisions. Fine. Then I'll pay for it myself. With what money? You just said we can afford it because of my salary. I'll figure it out. How? She stood up, grabbed her phone. I don't need to explain myself to you. If you don't agree, we can rethink the wedding. The room went quiet. She'd said it like a threat, like she was giving me an ultimatum. Agree to her demand or lose the wedding. Lose her. I looked at her for a long moment. Really looked at her. Saw someone who'd just weaponized our entire relationship over a champagne tower. Fair, I said. She blinked. What? Fair. Let's rethink it. I wasn't being serious. I was. You're being ridiculous. Am I? You just threatened to call off our wedding because I won't agree to spend $8,000 we don't have. That seems like something worth rethinking. I didn't threaten anything. I was making a point. And I'm taking your point seriously. Maybe we should rethink this. She stared at me like I'd slapped her. You're actually doing this. Over money. Over the fact that you think threatening me is an acceptable way to get what you want. She grabbed her purse and keys. I'm going to my sister's. We'll talk when you're being rational. She left. I sat there on the couch, staring at the venue contract in front of me. My name. My deposit. My signature. I picked up my phone and started making calls. Update 1. First call was to the venue. I explained that there might be changes to the booking and I needed to review my contract details. The coordinator was helpful, walked me through the cancellation policy, the refund structure, everything. I didn't cancel anything right then. Just gathered information. Second call was to the photographer. Same thing. Reviewing terms, understanding options. Third call was to my bank. I checked the account where we'd been pooling wedding funds. She'd contributed about $4,000 total. I'd put in $32,000. Our agreement was 50-50, but she kept saying she'd catch up once she paid down more of her loans. I transferred my contributions to a separate account. Left her $4,000 where it was. By the time she came home that night around 10 p.m., I'd spent 6 hours reviewing every vendor contract, every payment, every financial detail of our wedding. She walked in, dropped her bag. Are you ready to talk like adults? Sure. Have you reconsidered the upgrade? Have you reconsidered being supportive? I've always been supportive. I'm not being supportive of financial irresponsibility. It's not irresponsible to want nice things at my wedding. Our wedding. And it is irresponsible when we can't afford it without destroying our other goals. Then I'll pay for it myself. Like I said, with what money? I'll ask my parents. That stopped me. You're going to ask your parents for $8,000? They offered to help with the wedding. They offered to pay for your dress, which they did. That was their contribution. They'll understand this is important to me. So you'll go into debt to your parents instead of just accepting we have a budget? Why are you being like this? Like what? Financially responsible? That's literally what I'm being. She sat down across from me. I feel like you don't care about making this day special. I care about making our marriage work. That requires being a team, making joint decisions, not threatening each other when we disagree. I apologized for that. No, you didn't. I'm apologizing now. I shouldn't have said we'd rethink the wedding. But you did say it. And now I'm taking you up on it. What does that mean? It means I spent today reviewing all our contracts, understanding our options, rechecking who owns what. Owns what? It's our wedding. Legally, it's my wedding. My name on the venue contract. My deposit. My signature on most of the vendor agreements. Her face went pale. You're not serious. I'm very serious. You wanted to rethink things. I'm rethinking. I was upset. I didn't mean it. Then maybe don't say things you don't mean when you're trying to manipulate me into doing what you want. She started crying. I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you threatened our wedding over a champagne tower. Update 2. She slept in the guest room that night. I barely slept at all. Kept replaying the conversation, questioning if I was overreacting. But every time I circled back to her ultimatum, my resolve strengthened. The next morning, Wednesday, she came out around 7 a.m. while I was making coffee. Did you sleep? Not really, I said. Me neither. She poured herself a cup. I think we should see a couples counselor. For what? To work through this. To communicate better. I communicate fine. You threaten and manipulate. That's not fair. It's completely fair. You didn't get your way, so you threatened to call off the wedding. When I called your bluff, you fell apart. It wasn't a bluff. Then what was it? She didn't answer. My phone rang. The venue. I answered on speaker. Good morning. We're calling about your upcoming wedding. We need to confirm some details for the final payment schedule and wanted to verify the primary contact for any changes to the booking. My fiancée looked at me. I looked at her. I'm the primary contact, I said. Perfect. And just to confirm, any major changes to the package or guest count need your approval, correct? That's correct. Great. We'll send over the updated timeline and payment schedule to your email. Have a wonderful day. They hung up. My fiancé's face was unreadable. They asked for your approval, she said quietly. I know. Not ours. Yours. That's what happens when your name is on the contract and you paid the deposit. This is insane. You're holding the wedding hostage. I'm not holding anything hostage. I'm protecting an investment I made. You're the one who wanted to rethink things. I didn't mean it. Then stop saying things you don't mean. She flinched. I'd raised my voice for the first time. I immediately regretted it, but I didn't take it back. What do you want from me? She asked. I want a partner, not someone who issues ultimatums when they don't get their way. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Can we please just move past this? Not yet. I need to know this won't happen again. It won't. How do I know that? Because I'm telling you. You told me we'd make joint decisions about the wedding too. That lasted until the first time I disagreed with you. She set her coffee down. What do you want? Do you want me to beg? To grovel? What will make you feel like you've won? This isn't about winning. It's about trust and respect, neither of which you've shown me. That's not true, isn't it? When's the last time you asked my opinion on something wedding-related and actually listened? She couldn't answer. Exactly. This whole thing became about what you wanted. I became a checkbook with a pulse. That's cruel. It's honest. Update 3. Thursday morning I got a text from her sister. What the hell did you do to her? I didn't respond immediately. Went to work, dealt with my actual job, waited until lunch to reply. We had a disagreement about the wedding. She's been crying for 2 days. Says you're calling it off. She threatened to call it off. I took her seriously. You're being an ass. I'm being realistic. She made a mistake. She apologized. Did she tell you what the mistake was? No response for 20 minutes. Then, she said you won't let her have the wedding she wants. She wants to spend $8,000 we don't have on upgrades we don't need. I said no. She threatened to rethink the wedding. I agreed. That's what happened. You're really going to throw away 4 years over this? I'm not throwing anything away. I'm reconsidering marrying someone who threatens our future when she doesn't get her way. You're being petty. I'm being careful. Friday afternoon, my fiancée came home with her parents. I was working from home, in the middle of a video call. Heard them come in, finished my meeting, came out to the living room to find all three of them waiting. Her father spoke first. We need to talk about this situation. Okay. Her mother. Our daughter is devastated. She's barely eating. Can't sleep. This has gone too far. I agree. Then why are you doing this? Her father asked. Because she threatened to cancel our wedding over a champagne tower. That's not normal behavior. She was upset. She didn't mean it. Everyone keeps saying that. But she said it, and meant it enough to storm out. Her mother. She's stressed. Wedding planning is stressful. It is. Which is why we agreed to work together. Make joint decisions. She stopped doing that. She's the bride. The wedding is important to her. I'm the groom. It's important to me too. But my importance ended when my opinion became inconvenient. My fiancé finally spoke. I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. But this punishment doesn't fit the crime. This isn't punishment. This is me taking your threat seriously. I didn't mean it. Then why did you say it? Because I was angry. And the next time you're angry? What will you threaten then? Silence. Her father. What do you want? What will fix this? I want time. To think. To figure out if this is really what I want. You're questioning the entire relationship over one fight. I'm questioning marrying someone who uses our relationship as leverage to get what she wants. Update 4. They left. She went with them. I had the house to myself for the weekend. Spent Saturday going through our finances more carefully. She'd been saying she'd contribute more to the wedding fund for months. Hadn't happened. She'd said she'd help with the house down payment fund. Also hadn't happened. I'd been covering rent, utilities, groceries, and most of our entertainment for the last year. She contributed maybe 20% of our shared expenses. I told myself it was temporary, that she was paying down debt, that it would balance out eventually. Looking at it objectively, I'd been subsidizing her lifestyle while she saved money that she was now willing to ask her parents for instead of using herself. Sunday evening she called. Can we talk? Sure. In person? If you want. She came over an hour later. Looked exhausted. I've been thinking, she started. Okay. You're right. About a lot of things. I got caught up in wedding planning and stopped seeing you as my partner. I made it about what I wanted instead of what we wanted. Okay. And I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not just sorry I said I'd rethink the wedding. Sorry for how I've been treating you. I didn't say anything. Just waited. But I also think you're being extreme. Checking ownership? Making the venue route everything through you? That feels vindictive. It's protective. From what? From you making unilateral decisions with money I'm responsible for. I wouldn't do that. You literally tried to do that 2 days ago. She looked down. I wasn't thinking clearly. That's my point. When you're emotional, you make threats. When you're stressed, you bulldoze over my input. That's not someone I can trust with joint decisions. So what now? We just call it off. I don't know. You don't know? I need more time. The wedding is in 3 months. I'm aware. So what? I just wait while you decide if you want to marry me. Yes. She started crying. This is torture. For both of us. Then end it. Make a decision. I'm not ready. When will you be ready? I don't know. Update 5. Week 2. She moved out temporarily, went to stay with her sister. Said she couldn't be in the house while I decided her fate. Her words, not mine. I contacted a few vendors. The photographer was willing to postpone if needed. The caterer less so. The florist didn't care either way. The venue said I had until 8 weeks before the date to make changes without losing deposits. Her friends started reaching out. Some supportive, some accusatory. One told me I was emotionally abusive for withholding commitment. Another said I was justified for protecting myself. The responses were split pretty evenly. My friends unanimously told me to end it. Said she'd shown her true colors, that it would only get worse after marriage. My parents stayed neutral, said it was my decision, but reminded me that marriage requires being a team. 3 weeks in, she asked to meet for coffee. I agreed. She looked different. Thinner. Tired. But also clearer somehow. I've been seeing a therapist, she said. That's good. She's helped me understand some things. About control. About how I handle conflict. Okay. I have a tendency to escalate when I feel unheard. To make dramatic statements, to force a reaction. I've noticed. It's not healthy. It's not fair to you. And it's not how I want to handle our marriage. Marriage? If we still have one. I sip my coffee. Do we? I want to. But I need to know you're not just going to hold this over me forever. I'm not holding it over you. I'm learning from it. What does that mean? It means I'm being more careful, more protective of myself. You don't trust me. I don't. Not completely. Not yet. She teared up. How do I earn it back? Time. Consistency. Showing me you've actually changed instead of just saying you have. And the wedding? I don't know yet. Final update. It's been 6 months since the original fight. The wedding date came and went. We postponed it indefinitely. She moved back in after a month of separation. We went to couples counseling. Started rebuilding trust slowly. She got a better job, increased her income by 40%. Started contributing equally to our shared expenses. Paid me back for the wedding costs she'd promised to split. Last week she asked if I was ready to set a new date. I said maybe. She asked what would make it a yes. I told her I needed to see more consistency. More proof that the changes were permanent, not performative. She understood. Didn't like it, but understood. We're still together. Still engaged technically. But the wedding is on hold indefinitely. Some of our friends think I'm stringing her along. Some think I'm being smart. I think I'm being careful. Learning that love isn't enough if the foundation is broken. That someone can say all the right things, but the proof is in their actions over time. She's been doing the work. Really doing it. But I'm not ready to bet my future on her progress yet. Maybe I will be eventually. Maybe I won't. Either way, I'm not making that decision based on threats or ultimatums or pressure from anyone. I'm making it based on whether I can actually trust the person I'm supposed to spend my life with. And right now, I'm still deciding. Edit. A lot of people are asking why I'm still with her if I don't trust her. Fair question. I guess I'm giving her the chance to prove herself because 4 years meant something to me. But trust isn't rebuilt overnight. She broke it in one conversation. It'll take longer than 6 months to fix. Edit 2. For those saying I'm financially controlling, I protected assets that were legally mine when she threatened to use our relationship as leverage. That's not control, that's self-preservation. She has full access to the relationship now, just not unilateral access to my bank account. There's a difference.